Before we get into this morning's live, I want to go over just a couple of things that I think are very important here this morning. As we know, we had the escrow dump last night, or this morning at about 12 a.m. Still looking for all the information. Um, Still looking for all the information for the escrow dump just to see exactly where it went, how much they locked back up. But it's been a little scarce. I'm sure some of you can lead me in the right direction. One of the things that I am happy to see this morning is one, that XLM is up 4.27%. So even though XRP's kind of slipped here a little bit, not too bad though. It just slipped down a little bit from overnight when it was around $2.21, which is to be expected on the escrow dump. But right now, XLM had come up to 31 cents, and now it's back testing the short-term area of resistance support that it needs to get over. So we'll monitor this as we go across this morning. We still have HBAR up 8%, and it's one of the few that actually took that up route from these little flags we were seeing last night. Didn't 100% fill it out, but pretty damn close. Now it needs to validate that 21.6. XRP, obviously something shifted, and we know that the escrow dump happened, so it was starting to push up progressively down from that $2.11 when we started the live yesterday, got all the way up to $2.22. But now it needs to come back down. And I would say a solid confirmation, if this is meant to stay a little bullish this morning, we hold that $2.09 area. I think that $2.09 is going to be a very big key this morning. And if it breaks below that, then that's not going to be good news. But that's, I think, a very big area we need to look at. Joseph Kupiak, thank you so much for the $2 donation. I really appreciate that. It says, look at Bitcoin on an inverse head and shoulders. I don't disagree with what we're seeing on some of this, that we could be inverse head and shoulders here, because we talked about this last night. And Bitcoin, from its fall point, had a technical drop down to here, and it filled that all the way out at 78,453. So that short-term drop was felt. So it actually filled that up perfectly. Now, there was a wider drop that could have been 74,900, but that immediate drop actually filled. So now if Bitcoin can hold this area, and it's going to be just like we said yesterday, somewhere around 83,600. If it can hold that area, we should be able to power up to 90K. It's just, it makes it interesting because we've had a lot of pressure building up in the sell volume, but we're on a thinly traded weekend, which for the last 10 weekends we've had a dump. So for the last 2.5 months straight, the weekend's dumped. Now we're sitting here on Saturday, and we're going to see is the trend going to hold true for 11 weekends in a row, or can we power out of here? Right now, Bitcoin, it started off strong, but I'll be honest, that last 4-hour candle leaves a lot to be desired. That's a bearish doji right here on the candle before, it looks like. And now we created a new low. So we very well could find ourselves in a bearish moment here. Now that, like I say every day, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Sunday through Saturday, when the U.S. wakes up, it generally starts to reverse a little bit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what seems to be building. It always does this. And then if it's meant to do what it's going to do, later on in the day, it'll start kicking back up. But this seems to be standard operating procedure. It's the reason I haven't traded on the weekends in quite some time, almost 3 months now, except if we've seen a small shot we could take. But yeah, it definitely looks like a local head and shoulders, like some have been saying in the chat, are definitely building up here. At least in the last couple days, if we can't get this reversal. We still have the outside chance that could be a real weird inverse head and shoulders. But the moment we lose $2.09 is where it starts to come unglued. But, you know, it's going to be interesting this morning. We've got some areas where some things are starting to rise. But we've got other areas like Ethereum again, which we know broke down out of a rising wedge, is now down another 3.7% or 83 bucks down to 2,153. And it's completely reversing on us. Ethereum, however, never filled out the technical drop to 1,903. And until that happens on that bear flag, you know, you gotta keep watching it. And Ethereum is something that caused me concern back in December when I sold a pretty big amount of my portfolio. Not saying that I don't have things like MXC and IOTX and XRP, XLM, DGB, ZIL, VChain, HBAR, Algo. That's not what that means. That just means that I sold a significant part of my portfolio that was over the top, but I took like 70% worth of profits back in December because of this very setup. It was because of this and a few others that looked like we were topping out. XRP looked like it was topping out. And instead of creating a new high, it looked like we just validated a resistance. And now Ethereum is starting to play what we're talking about. If this does play out, we've only got one more day for Ethereum to pull back up here in this weekly candle. The monthly's already been a disaster for Ethereum. The monthly's been an absolute disaster where it closed. It validated a close below the rising wedge, at least for last month. But because it's just a wick, it can technically be played off as a 2-month wick here. So as long as in the next month it gets back over what would be perceived as a rising wedge, you'd call this as just a wick overlap or just a overzealous wick. However, that's a very big engulfing monthly candle, and that looks like shit. The last monthly candle was actually higher sell volume than the green candles. That is not what you would be looking at for a typical bullish cycle here. What Ethereum is showing us outside of if this is a double bottom, this is tragic. And, you know, maybe some money is going to flow away from Ethereum and Bitcoin and flow into these alt tokens. Maybe XRP was the leader in the alt season, but until something concrete happens, this is just turning out to be another disaster here. Live your dream media. Baking some fresh bread with oh, that is beautiful. I wish we were making some fresh bread. Maybe I can convince Julie to make some fresh bread. It's our last weekend with our old kitchen, so we're coming down to our final meals in our kitchen, which is crazy. We're getting our new kitchen starting on Monday. It's going to take about 3 weeks, so we're not going to be home for a few weeks. I'm going to have to stay in a hotel and stay with my dad on the weekends because my son's he's got sensory issues and he's autistic and special needs, and he doesn't deal with very loud noises very well, so we're gonna be out and about for a few weeks. So, you know, it's gonna be interesting starting on Monday the way my content goes. I'm still gonna be here Monday morning, still gonna be here doing the shorts every single day with the updates when I first wake up. Now it's gonna depend on whether or not my connection's strong enough at the hotel I'm staying at, whether or not I can do the lives or not. And I assume it's going to be, but you never quite can tell when you're using somebody else's service. So as long as everything's fine that way, I'll be doing my lives normally. If I can't do the lives, I'll still do an update, but it'll be a longer update at night. So it'll probably be like half-hour updates when I do my update at night, assuming that it goes like that. But they usually have really, the hotel I'm staying at has high-speed internet. So I'm assuming everything will be good. I've only had one hotel when it wasn't so great, but that's when I was out of town, and it wasn't even a hotel. It was like, I don't know, some place we were staying at that Julie's mom and sister booked. But other than that, I've had pretty good success in hotels. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But this is what I'm doing in my house is what this cycle's allowed me to do. Put the new windows in, put the new kitchen in, put the new floors in after the kitchen, and then hopefully do the new bathroom. But you know, there's stuff over the top that needs to be done as well. So taking advantage of moments that I've been given out of the market while still being very, very much invested in the market. It's just, I have a strategy where I buy twice as much as I want in bear markets so that I can sell out one half and still have the holdings that I initially intended on buying. It's a trick that I've tried to teach my audience during this bull cycle from last bear cycle so that you can feel confident in selling, but you know, you still have the holdings that you need and desire. So I have everything I've ever wanted and then more. It's just I bought twice as much as I needed. So that's the way my philosophy is, because then you don't have to fight with yourself in a bull market. Oh, I'm up 7x. What if I sell and it keeps going up? No. You take your 7x and then you just keep the other half. That's my philosophy now. So we'll see. Hasn't been cheap. My house definitely needed renovations. It hasn't been worked on probably since the 70s or 80s. Julie's family owned it in the 50s, the first owners, and they sold it to their other parts of their family, and then that got sold to another part, and then we bought it. but it definitely needed work. So it's already been about $40,000. No, more than that, about $50,000 put into work here. I've already done the HVAC system a year and a half ago. Did the water tank because it went out on Thanksgiving last year. And now with the windows in the kitchen, I mean, you're talking like $50,000 so far in upgrades, and it's still going to cost probably another 40 because I want to do the bathroom, I want to do the floors, and then I want to put a sunroom on the outside. So still a lot of work to be done. So I've still got to make a lot more money. And I feel like I'm lucky in that regard because I've been saving up monthly payments for the last year since I paid my house off. So I've been able to also do some work initially before I started this as far as the HVAC and other things. But still, it's not cheap. It's very expensive, property tax and things like that where I live, which sucks. But, you know, and I don't live in a castle. So, like, it's my own castle, but it's just about 1,200 square feet. I live below my means. And I like living below my means. Because you can do things and structurally sound and then work on the outside. And there's just so much stuff that can be done. But anyhow, that's enough of me. Let's do the intro and then we'll get into this. We will get into this hot and heavy. I appreciate everybody being here this Saturday morning. 161 people in here. I'm impressed. And I'm encouraged by how many of you are still taking this seriously. But good morning. 9:44 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Saturday, March 1st, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I do want to thank everybody for tuning in. On this most holy of days, don't forget to give thanks to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I love seeing a few of you talk about our Lord and Savior because when more than one of us speaks the name of our Lord and Savior, God becomes present in our actions, becomes present in our speakings, and in our community. So it's a beautiful thing to see. Now, right now, we've got to, I understand only 38 thumbs up with 170 plus people. That's the biggest struggle is to try to get people to hit the like button, but I don't push it anymore. If you're going to hit the like button, you're going to hit it. If you appreciate the time I put in, even on the weekends, you'll hit that like button because it doesn't cost you anything, but it does help push my content and grow my community. It's been a very big struggle here in 2025 to grow the community. We've grown by about 1,100 people. We were just over 30,000 when the year started. Now we're at 31,300 plus, but it's very slow in crypto right now. A lot of people have given up already, believe it or not. A lot of people have given up. And it's pretty ironic because most people will buy in the bull market, never buy the bear market, and give up during the still bull market because it consolidates. I like what I'm seeing here with Ethereum. with XLM. XLM is kind of telling us, along with HBAR, that there could be some noise here this morning. There could be some noise this morning. And I keep my eye on Algo, as you guys know. I keep my eye on IOTA and see if they can have this little reversal like the rest of the market. It's come up a little bit here. But, I don't know, every time we're trying to make some noise, we just haven't had a volume pull through. That's our biggest problem, and DGB yesterday kind of showed us it. It had that initial surge up, but it just didn't have the volume portfolio. And it ended up sinking down, creating a small bear flag that probably could get us down to that 007 again. It's unfortunate, but we're not able to pick up these volume. Right? We need volume. See, when you have these kind of stretches, without volume, it's a lost cause. And right now we're going through this, and even when we have 4 to 5 to 10% moves, there is absolutely no volume to be seen. None. Zero. Like, there is nothing. So when you start to look at this, of course we're going to get slapped by the resistance. We need some serious conditioning here. And like I see some people complaining, some saying the stock market's better. Look how shitty crypto is yet. I've made more in the crypto in 3 months just by knowing the bear market last year and knowing when to sell out of a bull market than I would ever make in the stock market. I'm just going to be honest. I like, if you're being honest, the market that I've made in crypto in 21, I did brilliantly. 22 brilliantly in bear market. 23 brilliantly in a bear market. 24 into 25, especially 24, it was 24. It was the best year I ever had in crypto. It wasn't even close. You can add a 0 onto my best performance, probably. It exceeded my 2021 profits by like 70,000. And I'm still heavily invested in this market. It's just the strategic timing that I invested in. It's allowed me this opportunity. But I'm also not an idiot. Like, I don't let my emotions dictate. I don't let my audience dictate. And I also don't let the fear of missing out on higher prices force me to stay in when I'm already up 7 to 10x. I will take my profit and then some, keep the original holdings I wanted, but I am very well versed in doing this. I've been through too many bear and bull markets, not just in crypto, the stock market, and commodities to be an idiot. It's just that simple. You know, and the biggest problem we have is most of us will buy on red candles in a bull market, but won't sell the green candles in a bull market, the extreme greed. And then most of us won't buy in a bear market, but will sell the bear market. It makes absolutely no sense. So my point is, most of us won't buy the bear market, but will sell. And most of us won't sell the bull market, but will buy. So every time I see somebody in chat, in my audience, in my Telegram right now saying, and I've been trying to push this point for 2 months, saying I'm buying the dip, you very well might not be buying the dip right now. Buying the dip is done in bear markets. You might just be buying the falling knife, and you get impaled on the way down. And this is exactly what happened in 21. Everybody thought they were buying the dip, but in fact, it was the end of the bull market, and everybody was just buying that sword on the way down. And then when we got into the bear market, nobody wanted to buy. So I'm going to be even more prevalent this time if we go back into a bear market, because DGB's back in bear market territory almost. It's not technically because it's still up like 70%, but all of these have fallen back into bear market territories from the top of the cycle. Remember that. Once you fall 20% from a cycle top, you're back in bear market territory. We've been in bear market territory for 48% on DGB, let's be honest. So everybody buying the dip down, we're buying a falling knife until it hits the floor. This is why I can't buy when it's at this part of the cycle. Yeah, I bought ZBCN. We made 150%, and I said I sold it because of the market conditions. Not because I wanted to, but we had a fantastic opportunity. It took about a week to capitalize that 150% move after we waited for it to fall to 0077, 00077. Then it got up to 002, and I said I'm out. I even sold some at 0016. But the final sale was at 002 because of market conditions. Not because I don't want to be in anything, but when I get a good deal like that, you've got to start to transfer it into some of the losses that happen during the hold in this kind of a cycle. But by no means are we saying this is over. It's just very tough. Like when HBAR was at 35 cents, more people wanted to buy it there than 4 cents when we bought it in the bear market, which I am dumbfounded by. XLM, more people wanted to buy it at 35, 40, 45 cents than at 8 cents where we bought it in the bear market. More people wanted to buy XRP at $3 than at 35 cents where we bought it in the bear market. It's all the same. More people wanted to buy Algo at 35, 40 cents than at 8 and 10 cents where we seen it in the bear market. You know, you can't make it up. DGB, more people wanted to buy it at 1.3 cents than when I was begging people to buy it at 004, 005, 007. Now at least you're back in that range. So you can do the down, build down model, but not from 2 cents. You could be down 75% right now or 65%. ZIL, right where it was at in bear market territory. So ZIL is one of those that, despite it all, has done dick. It has done absolutely positively nothing, and it's back in bear market territory. In November, it was at 1.3. It's back at 1.3. So ZIL is absolutely back at the bear market lows. VeChain, almost. It's got one more drop to go, but once it gets back to 2 cents, it's back to bear market lows. So we can talk all we want about a big bull market here. Most of the shit is in bear market territory. Yes, some of them are up, but the majority are still down lagging in bear market territory. So my suggestion is don't look at XRP at $2.14. Take a look at ZIL at 1.3 at bear market lows. Take a look at VeChain. Take a look at some of them that are in bear market lows still. Don't look at one that's already up. And everybody wants to rip on XRP. The bottom line is XRP, 10,000 tokens you could have bought for $3,500. In November, it went down to like 38 cents or just before November. But if you bought it in the bear market, hell, you could have bought it at 28 cents. But I'm saying we bought it at 34. So $3,400. Now it's worth $21,000. You've got a great opportunity to where you could 7x basically, or 6.5x from where you bought it. That doesn't mean all of them are conditional, but it's the same thing with XLM. From 8 cents to 30 cents, you're talking 500%. You're talking with HBAR from 4.5 cents to 20. You're talking 600%. So there's a lot of profit here for my audience if you bought with me. Even if you didn't have the philosophy of I'm going to sell some of my profits out or buy more than I should in the bear market. I hope this is a lesson for everybody. In the bear market next time, buy more than you anticipate. And if you can't buy more than you want of something you truly believe in, stop buying things you're speculating on. It's a lesson that I taught myself years ago. When I didn't have enough money, I wouldn't go into 17 different things. I'd buy one thing. I'd focus on one true asset that I thought was good in a bear market. I would put all of my money in that I could, and then I would reap the rewards of the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10x, and then I would start to swindle it into other things with the profits. That's what I do. And it's worked. It's damn worked very well. The biggest philosophy that I used to have that I couldn't break when I used to trade the stock market and stuff is that I could not sell in the big profit. I mean, I would take profit eventually, but usually it would be because, oh, now we can totally see the market collapsing. Like now, this cycle with XRP, I bought at 34 and 38. Some of it I sold out because I had 10,000 at, well, over 10,000 tokens at 34, $5,000 worth at 38. And some of it I finessed through the XRP Bitcoin pairing. But the bottom line is, instead of waiting until it comes down to $2.15 to sell, I sold at $3.20. Over 10,000 tokens like I wanted. So there was significant profit there, and I still have 10,000 tokens. But now if I were to sell it again, I'm looking at about 20 grand if it breaks that $2 level. Right? So that right there's an $11,000 miss. But because I did it the way I wanted, there's no guarantee I'll ever sell those 10,000. This is how I have to manipulate the market because I don't know exactly what's going to happen in the next phase. The Gatman, thank you so much for the $2 donation and also being in Tom's Army for several years. That's your 10th YouTube Super Chat. I greatly appreciate it. So I often try to talk about that kind of stuff. It goes unnoticed by most. But like, I'm not afraid to sell. Like, you cannot make a mistake if you're taking profit. You cannot make a mistake. Let me rephrase this. There is no wrong decision when you're cashing out profit. Everybody can scream at you till the cows come home and tell you, oh, you have to long hold to make the most profit. That's loser talk. You can only hold when it makes sense. Like, for somebody to say, I'm going to long hold it until 2028 from here, you're out of your fucking mind. Excuse my French. You are out of your mind. Because you have no idea what the cycle has to say. You also have no idea what your profit margin, you have no idea what your buying strategy's been. You can't do it. You can't just buy XRP at 220 and say, the hell with it, I'm going to hold it for 5 years. What if in 5 years it's at 37 cents? Or if you bought it at 30 cents, why the hell would you go all the way up to $3.30, 40 cents, let it come all the way back down to 30 cents and say, oh, I'm just a long holder? No, that's not how it works. It works like that if you don't want to make any money and you want to be part of the 95% who goes broke trading. 95% of traders in all markets go broke. Because that 95% goes to 5% of people. You don't see what happening. I didn't make a prediction that something was going to happen again. I said you can't do it if that's what's going to happen. Don't let your personal emotion or what you think. I'm telling you. Every single cycle what's happened, and most people will not sell profits. They will ride it all the way back to bear market lows. Period. I've seen it over and over again in crypto. Crypto, the people are amongst the most brain dead because they listen to too many influencers. And yeah, I'm an influencer, but I don't consider myself an influencer. I'm giving you historical data. So, you know, most people, they can never sell in the green, but they will sell in the red. And most people will never buy the red. They'll buy in the green. I'm being honest. It's the human condition. And I've been doing this for 4 years straight this month without a day off. So I've seen things that most of you can't even imagine by people. And I've been through the cycle of 21 with all of you, the bear market to bull market, back to the bear market, and now back to the bull market in some. And it's been, this guy here will lose a lot of chicken buggies. Are you talking about me? Well, you haven't been paying attention. I've done quite the opposite of losing. I turned a very measly 3.5K portfolio into six figures. So, I mean, if that's losing, I want to lose every single time, my friend. Kryptonian, thank you so much for being part of Tom's Army. I really appreciate that. Kryptonian. Nick says, Tom, have you noticed that's part of the reason why my charts are red and... Oh, I do actually. I do notice that. Charts are not red and green. I do notice that. That, about your charts. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. And Brandon, I see you weren't talking about me. My bad. My bad. I'm just trying to make sense to the audience. And like the cool thing is, like, when you buy things in the bear market, you actually have time to let things play out. Like, you don't have to be, you know, you don't necessarily have to give up right away. It's, let's see. HBAR, though, is showing us something here. I would love to see HBAR start to take advantage here. In the 2 hour, we're over that golden cross. Our target yesterday during the live, we just had a small target. It was down here around 21 cents. It was nothing major. It had a little short-term pattern that could potentially form to 24.6. Not all of them have played true. Not all of them have played true. Brandon says, love what you said about the percentage that buys in green and sells in the red. So true. That's how you lose. Absolutely. And then most people, they are afraid to buy the bear market. So when they see the bull market start to turn very green, they start buying the top of the orders. So basically what I mean is, okay, so we seen HBAR come up to 38. Then they seen it come all the way to 36 or 26, I should say, and say, oh my God, this is a great deal. Watch it go all the way up to 39 and not realize that a broadening wedge is starting to form here. And you couldn't have told that until it came down here again. But you could have seen that we had a higher high, and then it immediately came back down. So you'd have to think when it didn't break this resistance that should have been a sell signal if you were just doing a swing trade. But now most people bought at 27 and watched it go all the way to 39 because they bought in the bull market thinking, oh my God, look at this great deal I bought. And I tried to show this in 21 a lot to this great dismay of a lot of my audience. But I have a 30 times larger audience now than I had in 21. I only had about 1,500 people in 21 when that bull market finally kicked off. So very little people were watching, but by the time I told everybody to sell, we had about 7,000 people because we had a very quick run up. My first year, I had 10,000 people follow the channel, but like 6 of them were in that bull push. But I mean, that was a 49% gain you could have had, and then you followed it up with a 56% drop. But from where we bought in, if you would have bought in that the bearish part of the bull market, you're still down 32 at the peak. Now, though, if you let it ride back, you're still down 13.7. Let me ask you a question. How many people that bought and missed out on a bear market are going to buy in and watch it drop 37%? None. Pretty much probably none. Because they're going to sell it the first 10% down and say, I'm never trading crypto again. I've been fleeced, heisted, and shisted by all these shitty influencers, and everybody's telling me the wrong way. Nobody's honest to me. No, the truth is there's honest people out there like me, but you don't want to watch them, most people. I know, I used to be like that. Like when I had bad credit or I had too much debt, I'd never want to watch somebody like Dave Ramsey tell me how to get debt free and do things like that or pay off credit cards or have to live in a box basically for 3 years until you have to get out. You know, or basically live on beans and rice, as some would say. You know, but that's sometimes the knowledge you need to hear. You need to hear it from somebody who said, I've been there. And until you climb out of it, you're not going to be living a life you want to. It's going to be a life of basically service and destitute because you're so afraid of what comes next. So, you know, I've been there in debt. I had $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in not just credit card debt, but debt. And it was bad. And I couldn't even afford the light bill. I was having to go into negative in the bank account just to pay my bills. And that just wasn't a life for me anymore. In 2018, I said enough of this. By 2020, I was completely right side up. And now in 25, I don't even believe it. I almost feel like I'm in an alternative universe right now. Wales, Josie Wales, thank you for that $4.99 donation. Says, in Tom we trust. Also in Tom's Army for a very long time. I love it. Thank you so much. 10,000 debt, which I paid off in a year of hard work. It's absolutely hard work too. You got to put in a lot more hours at work. You got to try to figure out a financial plan. that actually validates it. But it was a very difficult time, especially with me and Julia. We've been together almost 11 years now, but our first 6 years were a big struggle, very big struggle. And then with Julie's car accident, my son's accident, and things could have went down to hell. That's when it was the worst of the worst when she got in that accident. But that's when we made the biggest decision. Let's see. I still like the fact that HBAR has pushed up just over 8% here. It's over that 200-day. I know Nick likes what he sees here as well. The fact that it had that descending wedge or descending consolidation breakdown all that way, back test it, and now it's pushing up. Now, we talked yesterday. We can't get excited on HBAR until it gets over 23.5 cents because that's the 200-day resistance. Once it gets over that and starts using 24.6 as support, oh boy, we could start be front running the rest of the market, and that's what I'm hoping for. Especially seeing XLM up 4%. I like seeing that. DGB again though down 5.2%. It hasn't broken out of this consolidation, and there is some narrative that would be said that some of these stuff to come down to the exhaustion wick, but we'll see. We'll see. And that's crypto, folks. Everything follows Bitcoin. You sure about that? Everybody says that, but that's the cheap answer. It does follow Bitcoin to an extent, but only saying follow things based on Bitcoin will lose you money because you don't know the. See, I don't like that. I don't like when people say, all you have to, and I know you didn't say this, but I don't like when people are like, and I'm not picking on you, I'm just saying, you reminded me of what a lot say, even though you said it in a much better way because you said that it follows crypto. That is absolutely correct, Brandon. But I don't like when people say all you have to do is look at Bitcoin. That's why I said I'm not picking on you. I'm saying I'm using your comment and taking it to another extreme. Because a lot of people say all you have to do is watch Bitcoin and you'll know exactly what to buy. And I completely disagree with that because if you just follow Bitcoin, you're not going to know the exact levels to buy your alt tokens. And besides that, Bitcoin's up 1/3 of 1%. That doesn't give you the buy signal for HBAR being up almost 10%. Doesn't tell you that. What it tells you right now is that you should be conservative and probably not buying with what Bitcoin's doing, but yet there's still opportunity out there. There's still very much opportunity out there. And yes, Cornstar is absolutely correct. XRP ran unopposed back in November. But remember, it was behind Bitcoin. Everything that XRP's pattern starts showing, it's slightly behind Bitcoin, we've noticed. Remember, Bitcoin ran up for about 3 months before XRP even turned on its jets. Bitcoin was trading like a madman, and XRP was basically stuck in the mud. And what ended up happening is most people refused to switch out of those Bitcoin profits from 70K, and they made a measly 38% while they could have 7 to 10x XRP. Low key, why I like Tom's channel, keeps me in line and self-regulated. Hey, that's why I like my community. You guys keep me self-regulated and you guys keep me in line. See, that's why it's just as important for me to do this as it is for you to see me doing this. Like, I've learned so much by doing this that I would have never known. Like, honestly, so much more. But the one thing that is still strange to me, and we talked about the BlackRock selling of Ethereum a couple days ago, and I think it went a little unnoticed by some, but some of you took it as a grain of salt and said, hey, this is not good. We're below that rising wedge. We're below, we haven't even hit the technical drop to 1900 yet, and BlackRock selling. We've filled out this exhaustion wick, but does Ethereum look good to you guys, or does it look like hell right now? And yeah, this could be an inverse right shoulder of all right shoulders, but the Guru is getting absolutely slaughtered right now. And I've been talking about the Guru because I really like the Guru. But he's been building into a position in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it was a slaughter position. He's down over 100K right now in his Bitcoin position, and Ethereum he's down like, I don't even know how much. And he keeps adding every day. Anybody trading leverage right now is a fool. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, even if you know what you're doing, you're a fool. And yeah, some people are making a boatload of money. But if you don't understand trading and you're a spot trader and you still can't get that down and you're going to leverage to try to make, you're a fool. You know, that's the way I look at it. I think they're just stealing money from the smaller traders, and the guru has no reason to trade leverage. He's a multi-millionaire venture capitalist, but he still shows 20x trades all the time. He's been getting slaughtered. Like, I'm talking down like almost $500,000 right now in the last like 2 months. And you're talking about a guy who bought Bitcoin at 15, 20K on the spot, dead on, and sold it at 104. But yet he's lost like $250,000 in the last week and a half or 2 weeks because all he does is leverage trades it down and says, oh, I sold out at the top, but now I'm going to buy in strategically. You can't do that. Why the hell would you buy your spot, sell it for that big of a gain, and then buy leverage the whole way down, longing it, and lose $250,000? Like, it makes no fucking sense. Like, don't give away your spot gains for some cheap money. Oh, James Crypto Guru. I love the guy. He's the guru. He doesn't know who I am, probably. But I like the guru. I'll show you. And yeah, you live by others' mistakes, right? This guy's a venture capitalist. He's got a lot of money. He's done very well for himself. He's probably in his mid-50s now. He's in Greece, but he shows it every single day. And if you just watch, you can see the risk of trading this much money. He's right here. This is the guru. I like the guru. He's got 90,000 subscribers. And I don't care what anybody says. I actually like watching him because he's showing you a large amount of money. And he's showing you the differences. This guy built a 150,000 portfolio legitimately up to 1 million. Like, I watched him do it last year into this year. But he turned that $1 million after it got up to like 1.2. And now it's fallen back. And he took out like 400,000 on the Bybit hack. And he was right around 500,000. But now he's dropped another 100 and something thousand. But I like him. He's honest. He's genuine. The only thing I don't like about him is he charges $300 for his course when he's a rich motherfucker. Like, I think that's ingenuine. And I think he should be doing that out of generosity and teaching people because he's so well off. That you shouldn't be charging the simpleton $300 for a course, which you could just learn from watching. Because everything you teach in a course could be taught for free. And that's what I try to do every single day. But he gives you valuable information about higher trading, higher volume, and just how good and bad it can go in an instant. So I do like him. Crypto Wendy is I don't watch Crypto Wendy. If you're watching somebody for looks, that's probably not a good sign. I honestly I've seen her content. I'm not saying she doesn't know anything, but I am telling you, you know, if I came out here in my Speedo and was showing my muscles and stuff, you know, you probably shouldn't be taking advice from me. Just saying. She's a buffoon. I'm not going to say it, but that's not somebody I would take financial advice from. She's living off of all of you. Like some of you are saying, some of my audience is faking their meat, shooting some seed all over the place watching her. But she's making a bunch of money off of that, you know, so I wouldn't trust her. I've seen her content. It made me want to bash my head through the wall. I found you're the only one I watch anymore. I get that a lot, XRP Hitman. I get that a lot because most people that started genuine, they sell out. I've had every opportunity to sell out. Every opportunity. I've had every opportunity. All these main influencers you talk about have reached out to me, most of them. But most of them, you'd be surprised. Most of these entities you see are not entities on YouTube. They've sold out their brand and they become partners with other people, and then they have to put out content that relates to that. And then you might even see people be replaced, aka BitBoy and some others who I told you wasn't a single entity, sold out years ago, and then they just replace them and change the name. You know, that's something that I've had the opportunity to do. I've been able to rebrand my station if I wanted to. And I could have a 3-part promoter and things like that. My station's big enough now, and I get enough views on my own to where people have reached out and they want me to be part of something bigger. I refuse. Sure, there's cheap money to be made, but your soul also gets sold. I don't say that lightly. When you sell your soul and you sell out, nothing can bring you back. So, but most of the people you guys are telling me in the audience, they're all promoting alt tokens that they get a certain amount and then you buy it and then they rug pull it and they make a shitload of money. I've not seen one person mentioned in the comments yet that doesn't do that. So That's the most reason why I get so disappointed by most, and why I won't speak of most or give my blessing, because every single person does it. Every single person does it. You know, and oh, you can't say every person, because I've seen a few that are like me that refuse to sell out and their channels struggle a little bit like mine. Although I don't really consider it struggling. I think we've done a freaking phenomenal job. I really do. Having 200 people here in the live stream with no way of promoting besides just the audience, it's a phenomenal thing. I don't know who Alex is. That's why I said I don't want to comment on Alex, because I don't know who that is. So I don't know who that is, to be honest with you. I'm glad somebody else calls it straight. That's what I like to hear. Love hearing that. You're first and red pill professional is enjoyable. He's second. That's what I like to hear. Blockchain backer hasn't sold his soul. My friend, you need to rephrase that, okay? Don't bring that nonsense in here with blockchain backer. We watched him crucify his audience in 21, tell everybody in 22 it was a bull market when it was clearly a bear market, and his audience lost like 80%. That's the definition of sellout. If you can't even be honest with your own audience because you want to keep a viewer. I lost half my audience base, 3/4 of my viewers, because I was honest. So, you know, I don't want to say anything bad about him, but I'm just saying I watched it firsthand for 2 years and my audience kept telling me, oh, he's telling me it's going here and there, and it went nothing but down. And I said, you can listen to him or me, but I'm telling you it's going down. I don't give a crap what he says. But everybody kept telling me we're in the beginning of a bull cycle in 22, and I'm like, are you guys out of your minds? Are you kidding me? The amount of people that like BCB and say that he's the best thing since sliced bread, even though he's cost his audience more money than you could imagine. I don't know, man. But that's where we're at right now. I wanted to read this. I don't want to get too much caught up on everybody, but it's just the truth. I don't want anybody to get rocked just because we think we're watching somebody with ethics. 99% of people that are doing what I'm doing have no ethics. And they live in 10 times bigger houses than I do and make 10 times more on YouTube because they're willing to sell their souls. You know, it doesn't faze me. If I don't make enough money, I'm not doing a good enough job. You know? If I'm not getting donations or I'm not getting people in Tom's Army paying it forward, obviously I'm doing a shitty job. If I'm doing a good job, people are making more money than they know what to do with, and they're going to send donations. That's what happened in November and December when I had the 2 biggest months of my life in this show. Basically, my profit margin on YouTube was up about $1,300 from normal in December, November, and most of January. February's back to normal. But it was those 3 months that I made probably an extra $4,000 than I normally would have because of everybody making so much money. Coach JV. Oh, you guys are rich. You guys are rich. I wouldn't watch that guy if he bit me in the ass. 1.5 billion XRP, and you guys are rich. 1.4 billion XRP in open interest. Sell off finally over. You mean the same JW or JV who's been selling you the line of bullshit and different promotions for fucking 5 years? That guy? The guy who would show you anything to make a buck? Oof. I wouldn't watch anybody who will show something to make a buck. But again, that's not my point. You know, I might be an idiot. Maybe this is all out of touch. In the last 24 hours, thank you for the laugh, though. In the last 24 hours, XRP has witnessed a significant shift, leading some to hope for a positive future outlook. XRP's open interest has surged by a substantial 8.43% as investor sentiment teased a potential price rally. So XRP open interest surpasses $3 billion. Data from... I love all the suggestions. Data from CoinGlass shows that total open interest surged past the 3 billion mark. Investors' activity saw a 1.4 billion XRP committed and open interest valued at 3.07 billion within the last 24 hours. This development marks a shift from the broader cryptocurrency market's collapse. How's T doing, Julie? Is he still asleep? Oh, shaking his head now. XRP's price momentarily dipped below $2 in the past week due to the sharp downturn. However, the surge in open interest coincides with an uptick in the value of XRP. In the last 24 hours, the asset has climbed by 8.23% to trade at $2.21. My friends, all of you that are commenting, these different people, I already know for a fact most of the people that suggest these names are in the red. So if you're watching these people and you're in the red for a number of years, ask yourself who the hell's the reason behind what your influence is. I'm just being honest. I have no idea, Live Your Dream Media, what everybody's smoking this morning. I have not smoked anything this morning, and I must be the only one with a level head. Because what I'm seeing right now is, it's why everybody's so in the red. Like, everybody, why do you think everybody's so broke in crypto? It's all the influence you guys keep telling me to watch. 9 out of 10 that you guys tell me I wouldn't watch if you force me to watch it. I'd just rather not know anything about investing. The current upsurge in open interest shows market participants are growing bullish, with XRP despite the recent setback in price and massive sell-off. And some of you think I'm just ripping on some of these influencers. I'm the one who came out here and said Robert Kiyosaki's a hack after all these years, because he's starting to tell you Bitcoin's a store of value, which means he sold his soul. The gold silver report with Mike Maloney, he's great, but with Alan Greenspan or Alan Hibbert and all these other guys he has on there that are talking this nonsense, you're having controlled opposition being forced in. For all the hate Peter Schiff gives, at least he stuck to his guns and said, crypto will go up as long as there's somebody stupid enough to buy it at a higher price, but there's no real money being earned. It's basically being planted out of thin air, and eventually you're going to get those people. You always get the people that make money, but you get 95% of people who are funding the money who are making money. Remember that. 95% of people in trading fund the 5% of people making money. And for that, I thank the people that have helped fund what we've made in this community. I just regret to say some of you in this very community have helped fund us, and I don't like that because you've been in this community. But just listen to what I'm saying. You know, listen to when I say buy and when to sell. You know, and I'm not saying you wholesale. I'm saying I know the points to take profit. And I know the way to continue to advance the portfolio, even in a bear market. And I proved it for 4 years to all of you. Now, what we need to do, and I don't care about proving something, but it at least gives credibility when I'm saying something. There's a reason why I'm saying it. I kept getting pissed off when it was at $3.12 with the Trump thing, when I'm telling people, take your damn profits. And then when we get to $2, people are going to say, should I take profit? I'm going to say, well, why didn't you take it 40% ago? Or people are going to say, I'm going to buy here instead of, even though it's not technically a buy area, we still got gaps so low that we need to make sure this doesn't fall through. This is the definition of no man's land to buy here. Meanwhile, CoinGlass data shows the money market participants were most active in the BitGet exchange ecosystem. BitGet accounted for 29.38% of the total open interest, with 412.38 XRP valued at $901.97 million. And that's interesting because BitGet is not allowed in the USA. So this is, when I see stuff like this tells me that there's some artificial manipulation going on, because that's not even available in the USA. Other notable exchanges featured were Binance, Gate.io, and Bybit. Gate.io and Bybit and Binance are three of the biggest buffoon exchanges that I would never use, if I'm being real. And look at all, and just like BitGet, these are all the ones that are manipulating the markets. Of course it would be these ones where all this XRP's moving. Binance came second with 287.56 million XRP, worth 629.32 million. It was followed by Gate.io, which registered 275.46 million XRP, worth 603.24 million. Bybit had 241.9 million XRP, worth 529.84 million. Experts maintain that a leap in the trading volume of XRP in the coming days could support the coin to reclaim previous highs. It sucks when you see the biggest perpetrators of manipulation, those particular exchanges are the ones that are pushing the XRP volume. That's a very interesting dynamic. But I still think something's going on here. Like, I love seeing the fact that HBAR is up 10% almost for us right now. That's an outlier right now. We've got MXC up 3.6%, which is nice to see. And it looks like it's reversed in the 4-hourly, and there's only 37 minutes left. This is actually going to close a pretty bullish candle if it closes here. It reversed the losses completely and went to the bullish side of town. Whenever you see a long leg doji like this and you close on the top side, that technically is giving you bullish hope. If it closes to the bottom of this middle, it's very bearish. Right now, it's giving us hope that maybe This is going to reverse here on us. Nah, that's kind of a black spot for HBAR. I don't like Snoop Dogg at all. Some can say he has good music, but the guy literally was in prison and he paid his way out of a murder charge. So, like, I can't respect somebody like that. That's the truth. Anyhow, look at even AMP is up a little bit, about 8%. It had or 9%. So we are seeing some signs of a reversal. We are seeing some signs of a reversal. And that's the truth about Snoop. He paid to put it under wraps, and now it was expunged. So it's not public record, but he absolutely did that. He murdered somebody in cold blood and was sentenced to life without parole. And then he ended up, after a few years, I'm assuming he sold himself out. And it was a way for him to get. But anyhow, it's a bad look for the younger kids. But I mean, we're seeing some of these signs where things are bouncing. So I think, like we said yesterday, it's a very ominous time to have a nice green day here, possibly. It's a nice green day. I've heard some people doing that, Rich. How did it work out for you on Saucer Swap? I've been intrigued by that myself. I've seen some rumblings about it. And the more I've heard people talk about it in the Telegram, I'm honestly curious how it works. How what your experience has been. I think IOTA right now, I think IOTA is set up. We'll see if we do get a drop, but if it's going to do what most of the market is starting to try to do, we very well could have bottomed here on some of these. I do like XLR. I do like XLR. It's struggling right now, but we were able to pick up some when it had this dip down here. I didn't get it down at 32, but I have it somewhere around 34. Now, I like it, and I think there's going to be some kind of move, but no. Guys, I get this question all the time with Corium. Is it at a good price? I will show you when we were talking about Corium when it was at a good price in the bear market. When Corium was at a good price, it was down at 5, 6, 7, 8 cents. Even now at 12 cents, who knows what it's going to do, but it doesn't look great right now. Corium, Solo, and all of those are synonymous for having a big run and dumping all the way back out to bear market territory until it's time again. So I'm still waiting for some 40% drop here if it's going to fall right through. So we'll see, though. We shall see. XCN, I know, was a big talking point by a lot of you. And like I said, once it was ready to be talked about, nobody would talk about it. I gave fair warning on this one about the exact pattern it was going to take. I called it before the breakout. I couldn't buy it anywhere that I trusted because I don't like Kraken because I had an issue and I don't use it anymore. But I had a $4,000 withdrawal that took over 30 days for them to finally let release, and I thought they were stealing it, so I don't trust them. But I covered this very transparently and said, if you're buying this, you can either sell out when it gets up to the first resistance, or it can maybe run up to 6. But once it topped out here, I said, listen, everybody, this is the Johnny-come-lately token that is obviously being pushed by an influencer. I didn't know which one, but I knew some schmuck was pushing it, and then that influencer sold on all of you. You were the exit liquidity. And now it's down 71% from the top. That's not exactly showing signs of strength. So, and it has a gap down here. I talked about it, 008. So from the top, I said it's looking at an 83% drop. And I said, you know, most people wouldn't acknowledge the charts that I'm showing because they thought it was going to go to oblivion. Everybody told me it was going way up here and it was never going to stop. Remember, we're going to 20, we're going to 30, we're going to 40 before it stops. Oh, yeah, we definitely did that. Ripped 70% away from most because they weren't buying it in the bear part. If the SEC, they're not going to drop it next week, but if they did drop it next week, what would happen to the price? That's speculative at best, but it should have a surge. Because listen, everybody, we're all looking for this big boom when the SEC says the case is dropped. What happened to crypto when the SEC's been dropping Coinbase and Uphold and, or not Uphold, Coinbase and Robinhood and Consensus and all that? What happened to the crypto price? Did it go up or did it tank? I think it did quite the opposite of what most of you would have expected when they've been dropping all these cases the last week and a half. The price has plummeted. Sometimes the best thing that can happen is the case is going on, because you still have the chance of the buy the rumor, sell the news event. So I don't think there's probably going to be anything happening with Ripple until April 16th, approximately, honestly. And that's when the next time they meet, for real. That's when Ripple has to make they have to send in their work with the appeal and what they think, you know, that's when they have to send in their paperwork for this next stage. So hopefully something happens before. And I think we could get a big surge. But remember with Ripple, it's a little different. Ripple's already been ruled not a security, right? The only thing that is still going on is they're going to try to collect a monetary value. So they're trying to get some kind of monetary solution, the government is, the SEC, so that they don't look like a bunch of idiots. It's already not a security. It can never be changed, and there's been an amendment to validate that last year. So this case is over, aside from what kind of penalty are they going to pay, if any. So for that aspect, I don't know how far it's going to rise up by the end of it. For the most part, the end's already happened. The only thing that has been unchanged is knowing how much they have to pay in a fine, if any. So, you know, that's the truth. So I think we would have a surge. How much? I couldn't tell you. And when it happens is going to be very key to how far it can go, to be honest with you. I've been watching Ondo. It hasn't hit an area where I wanted to buy it yet since I've been watching it. If I'm being honest, it came up too fast. And now, just because of where it's at, you got to have some balls to buy it here in the daily when it's underneath the 200-day where a death cross has happened. Because now you could buy it here. Maybe you get a surge of 113 and then it gets rejected. But you would have some balls here to buy it when it's below the death cross. Now, if you already bought it in lower cycles, well, obviously that's different. But we can see everything's coming back towards bear market levels, and it's a shame. It's a true shame that most of crypto is coming back and this is how we had it. I said I might take a look at it when it came back down to 70 cents in this descending wedge because that's where it suggested it could end. But we'll see what happens here. But as of right now, it's just been on this downward spiral from the top. From the top of this cycle in December, Ondo is down. I mean, we're so clearly in bear market again. Nobody wants to acknowledge it, but we're absolutely in a bear market again. XRP's in a bear market again. It's just higher than we were used to. That's all. Once you drop 20% from the top, it's more than a correction, guys. So now we have to fight ourselves back out of a bear market. And yeah, does the bear market look different this time because the price is higher? Sure it does. But it doesn't mean any less that we're in a bear market. XRP's down about 40% from the top. That's absolutely slipped back into bear market. Now, can we go back to bear market levels of 21? Well, in 21, did we go back to bear market levels of 2017? No. Does that mean 25 has to go back to bear market levels of 21? No. Generally, you'll build up in each cycle if you're meant, to have a slightly increased value. The problem with crypto is it seems to it implodes every single time. So my question again remains, how can it be a store of value if it doesn't stay up? I shouldn't be bumming you out, City Guyable. I should be making you happy because you're in tune and you know something big could happen here because of the levels we're at. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bearish push. It just means that we need some volume. We need some momentum like HBAR is trying to build. But even with HBAR, when you notice, where the hell's the volume? It's almost like they just turn off the sells and allow the price to appreciate to trap a little more people. And then they turn the sell pressure on, it just comes down below. So I don't want anybody to be upset. I don't want anybody to be anxious, but I do have to go now. My son's about to get his feeding and I want to go be present. But I try to tell the truth, that's all. I try to show everybody what they need to see. Right now, sure, it's the weekend. Sure, we've done 2.5 months in a row on the weekend. And yeah, some things are outliers right now. But everything that's an outlier, none of it seems to be showing that volume I would like it to show. Nonetheless, it's an outlier, but right now they're just coming up to the resistance points. That's the problem. Even what AMP did, it's bouncing off the support, but it only came up to the 20-day and now is succeeding back pretty hard. So we're going to need to get past some of these points is all. So I wouldn't doubt that XRP hit, man. So, but other than that, have a blessed day, everybody. I'll be back later to do an update of some sort. I appreciate each